Inshallah, we're going to be talking quickly. The subject is very huge, very big, but we're just not going to go over quickly, inshallah. التوكل. I'm going to give you few definition of tawakkul. Okay, they all more or less talk about the same thing. So the first one is entrusting one's soul to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with my soul. The second one, I am putting my unwavering trust and the confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third one, I am leaving all my affairs, unloading my affairs and entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with it. The fourth one is taking Allah as my protector, which is at the end of the day, I have total reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah to me is sufficient as for a protector and as a guardian. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. This is Surah Al-Ahzab. We discussed this before. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, and put your trust, tawakkal ala Allah, put your trust in Allah. Allah is enough, Allah is sufficient as a disposer of your affairs and as a guardian. Okay? You know, tawakkul comes from the Arabic word wakil. Okay? I have wakil. Wakil means that somebody that I authorized to act on my behalf. For instance, I go to court, I get a lawyer. This is wakil. This is somebody that when I get a lawyer, I do not go just to pick anybody from the street. I try to pick somebody. I go to Google and see how he rates, stuff like this. I ask people. So when you think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when I entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, think about Allah, لله المثل الأعلى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have the highest example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is way above any example that we say. But when you alaykum as-salam wa barakatuh. We were happy you're not here. So what's okay. So when I pick somebody and entrust somebody for my affairs, I want to know that he is knowledgeable, he is powerful, he understands his material, he has good record. I look at all these things. So with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you study the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the only entity that you can entrust your affairs with. The absolute knowledge, the absolute wisdom, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything that you need in wakil, in somebody that you entrust your affairs with, is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the ulama say, التوكل, reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is actually the essence of iman. This is what iman is. If there is no tawakkul, actually there is no iman. You can claim anything, you can say anything, but without tawakkul, that absolutely that there is no iman. And tawakkul is a state of the heart, is not a verbal thing that we say. Okay? Sometimes I say tawakkaltu ala Allah, I rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I'm lying. I'm not really relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's just something I say, something beautiful that I say, I feel comfortable with it. But in reality, I entrust my affairs with everybody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I say it, tawakkaltu ala Allah. It's like when you say, tubtu ila Allah. I repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you still engage in the same haram that you do, and you say tubtu ila Allah. That does not really make any sense. So again, tawakkul is not is not something verbally that we say. It is something that is actually the state of the heart of the mu'min. And like I say, when you believe and you are totally certain that Allah is the one behind everything, nothing happened in this dunya without the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing in this dunya happened against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when I believe and I am totally certain that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one behind everything, nothing happened in this universe without His will. When I believe and I am very certain that Allah has the ultimate knowledge, wisdom, and the power, when I believe and I am certain that none can overrule His will or alter His will, when I believe and I am certain that no one has knowledge beyond Allah's knowledge, when He is the true merciful and His mercy cannot be compared to anybody else, my heart will surrender and I will look no other way. I'm gonna be very happy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that my total trust. One of the most tawakkul is one of the most important topics in the Islamic ethics. Without tawakkul, there is absolutely no iman. It relates to the essence of monotheism. Without tawakkul, there is no tawheed. The tawheed, the monotheism, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the ulama say the real meaning of tawakkul, and I want you to pay attention, the real meaning of tawakkul lies in the word لا إله إلا الله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Think about it. The statement is there is no God but Allah. That statement needs a state of heart. I really say there is no God but Allah. But God is not limited to statues and the very, very silly things that we talk about. God, fashion is God. Money is God. My self-esteem is God. God. My desires are God. So when I say La ilaha illallah, there is no God that I follow. I do not follow anything. I follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. We talked about this before. We talked about when the Imam recite and make the adhan and they say حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح, we say لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. That there is no power, there is no strength. I really cannot go around the haram without the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do not have the power to do good without the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا إله إلا الله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. The one who is totally exalted, okay, have that lofty status, lofty station that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the above words should not only be expressed by the person, but who realize and actually believe that. You cannot just say it. You know, some of the ulama say sometimes, and I said this when we talk about salah, that we start the salah with a lie. When we stand up and say Allahu Akbar, but in reality Allah is not Akbar. Allah, anything else is bigger than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and huge than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a recognition that I am not an independent entity. I am not. I know I am not independent. I am dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am in dire need of independent entity and absolute power that take care of all my affairs. Now, when we do not feel that tawakkul, there is two reasons for us when we really do not feel that in our heart. The first one, there is weakness in our yaqeen, in our certainty about Allah's attributes. And this is, wallahi, this is the biggest disease that the Muslim Ummah has today. We verbally say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ar-Rahman ar-Rahim al-Qawi al-Raqib, all these good things, But we cannot understand, we cannot even get closer to get some way, even millions of miles away from the real meaning. We don't. It is something that we say, but we cannot understand the scope of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how powerful He is. We talked about this few times before. This is the first one. And the second one, you might have some yaqeen, but the heart is very shaky. The heart, you know, you have weakness in the heart. When you have weakness in the heart, you can be subjected to delusion. Okay, anything, any fear that can shake you, and any kind of false imagination. So two things that weaken the tawakkul, our tawakkul to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, I do not have time for this, but when you think about the Quran, hundreds of ayat that talk about tawakkul ala Allah. وعلى الله فتوكلوا إن كنتم مؤمنين على الله فتوكلوا ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا. Lots of ayat of the Quran al-Kareem that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, without that there is absolutely no iman. When you think about us as human being, okay, life is totally miserable if the heart is not at peace. If you are edgy, if you worry about everything, if you get afraid of your own shadow, no trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if the heart is not at peace, the life is miserable regardless who you are, how much money you have, how much power you have. And I told you before, Fir'aun, the Pharaoh, when the oracles told him that there will be a baby that will be born, will be the reason for the destruction of your empire. That Musa was not born. They say he never had one night of sound sleep. And he's the Pharaoh. You understand? So if we have a miserable life, and you look at the dunya, just to open the TV and see the first 15 minutes, rape, fire, killing. This past weekend, 40 people got shot. This is life. Everybody's afraid of everybody. So we have a miserable life if our heart is not at peace. Man needs security, peace, serenity, tranquility in the soul. We need that. And without relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will never get that. Nothing, absolutely nothing. There is a void in the heart, cannot be fulfilled by anything but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the reality. The only path to this is trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having excellent opinion, حسن ظن بالله, excellent opinion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rely on Him, leave one's affair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am to my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want to be true servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without being true servant, show true certitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, أنا عند حسن ظن عبدي بي. You think of Allah whatever you think, and He will be that. If you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, truly you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, He will be merciful to you. If you think of Him kind, if you think of Him that He is overwhelming, He's a destroyer, He will be that to you. So have a good opinion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طبعا I do not really have time. There is 2 million hadith talk about this. We need to understand. So the reality of tawakkul is to delegate your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and trusting Allah's choice for you. And we need to understand this. I'm going to talk about it in details. And we have to rely on Him in bringing about goodness and to prevent the harm from our way. Most important, goodness There is goodness in this dunya, and Allah will give you that. Goodness in this dunya does not mean rich, does not mean health, does not mean any of this. Give you contentment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you pleased with Him, and He's going to be pleased with you. But the most important goodness, such as Iman. I want Allah to give me Iman. I want Allah to keep me on Iman. I want to die on Iman. I wanna see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. That is the best, this is the real goodness that we should seek. And this only comes through tawakkul. So the most important goodness, such as Iman, guidance, tawfiq to do good deeds. None of us, the best of us, don't you ever think that when you do good deeds because you are smart or your IQ is high. This is tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He see goodness in your heart, He give you that. Allah subhanahu, you're sitting there is nothing, you do not remember, there is nothing to remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of a sudden you get up, you go wash, make wudu and pray 2 rak'ah. Or you sit there and read Quran, or you make dhikr. That's not because you're smart, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who do this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet ﷺ, he say, when you accept Allah as wakil, we will find all the roads to success paved for you. Okay? Now, here is one thing. Lots of people think that when we seek means, if I come to you and I know that you can help me with one of my affairs, and I come to you and ask you for this, some people say no, that's against tawakkul. That is very wrong. You know, some people, when you read in the Quran, some people which is they confuse everybody. When in the story of Yusuf as-salam, when Yusuf as-salam was in prison and he interpreted the dream, and the one who was gonna leave the masjid, the prison, he told him, "Udhkurni 'inda rabbik." Remind me, when you see the king, mention me. And the ulama say, because he did this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept him in prison for 20 years. That is wrong. That is totally wrong, and the wrong interpretation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talk about Dhul Qarnayn, وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا, I gave him all kind of means, and he used the means. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was migrating, he did not just sit there making dua. He planned. He even hired a mushrik to show him the way. Al-akhdh bil-asbab, utilizing the means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, is very, very important in tawakkul. Now, to make use of all the available means, utilize all the available means to do whatever is possible within your power to achieve your goal. Physically, you take all the necessary steps. You know something, when I am hungry and my wife is upstairs, I don't raise my hand, I say, Ya Rab, I need to eat. Huh? I yell at my wife, I want to eat. So, no, of course, she is very nice. Leave me alone. Don't say anything. Don't start trouble, for heaven's sake. So, or if she was like you think, I get up and get my own food. Okay. So you have to take. You physically have to move. You physically have to move. Okay. I wanna go to Hajj. I don't come here to the masjid and say, Ya Rab, I wanna go to Hajj. No. You can do that, but you have to move. So physically, you have to do your best. And now, you have to think. You have to plan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the intellectual and reasoning and rationing means, you have to use that. You have to plan. You have to seek advice from the righteous. If I want to build a house, I'm not going to go to a doctor and ask him. I'm going to go to somebody who understands. So I ask for help. I seek guidance. I seek advice. from the expert in the field. And then I supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I make dua. And then whatever advice I get, I act only due to the divine rules. No matter the expert will tell me, I have to do whatever Allah allow me to do. Okay? And we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about the Qarnayn, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him. The only trick is we use and utilize the means, but I know the means is not the one that's gonna take me and actually get me to what I want. I use the means, but I am not dependent on the means. I use it because this is an act of worship. Not using the mean, that you not worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the proper way. I am sick. I cannot sit and make dua. I will go, if the doctor told me, I want you to go to the hospital now, have a surgery, I do this. I go there and then make dua. So I know the means. When I go to the doctor and he write prescription and alhamdulillah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve me of the sickness, I thank Allah before I thank the doctor, because I know the doctor was the mean, but Allah is the one who give him the knowledge. Allah is the one who give him tawfiq to give me the right prescription. Okay, so I use the means, but I do not rely on it. I rely on the one who give us the means. Okay, so we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So التوكل, I want to give you one hadith that always is misinterpreted. Okay, and the people use this in a very ignorant way. Okay, they say this is a authentic hadith. The Prophet he say, if you really rely on Allah the proper way, really to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give you, sustain you. Allah will give you rizq as He sustain the birds. تغدو خماصا, they leave the nest in the morning with empty stomach, and they come back at night full. And the people say, this is it, I am not going to do anything, Allah will give me rizq. But they forget the other half of the hadith. Allah does not give them rizq in the nest. The birds, not human being, the birds have to go outside, seek Allah's help, and by that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them this. So when you say, I am sitting there, you know, some people from Yemen that at the time of Prophet ﷺ, they went to make Hajj, and they say Allah al-Razzaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us rizq, and we're not gonna take any supply with us. Some of them die on the road. The dua does not help them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you intellect. Okay, وَتَزَوَّدُوا, okay, provide for yourself. Now التوكل, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants our limbs to work and our body to sweat, but Allah does not want our heart to sweat. And that's the true tawakkul. The true tawakkul is, yes, I work as hard as I can, I sweat, I do not leave a stone unturned, but at the end of the day, whatever Allah carve for me, whatever Allah portion for me on that day, I'm happy. That my heart does not go nuts, does not race in beating, anything. I am at peace. I do the best I can. I get sweat, but my heart does not sweat. And the Prophet ﷺ, our role model in everything in his life, he did not only rely on dua. He did not rely on fake tawakkul. Huh? He always planned, he always did his homework and then do the tawakkul. So the firmness of the heart is the proof of the true tawakkul. If you always shaky, if you always troubled, if you always worry about everything, there is a big question mark about your tawakkul. Okay? I do my utmost and totally accept the outcome. There is something called التجرد. التجرد means is the qalb is in a state of detachment. I detach myself from anything but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That does not mean I detach myself from my family, from my work. No, no, no. I have no hope in anything but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, I take care of my family, I do my job, I do everything. But my real attachment is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The heart would be in a state of certainty, no confusion, no doubt, no disturbance, no disorder. Okay? Utilizing al-asbab is a sign of real tawakkul. Real tawakkul, so as long as we do not rely on them. Like I told you, some people say tawakkaltu ala Allah, and in reality they are lying. Because their heart is not attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's attached to their money, to whatever it is. A person who is reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually like a baby. Think about that. But I wanna put some condition there, because I do not want anybody to misunderstand. A baby, when he needs something, he always go to his mother. Does not even go to his father. Okay, when he is hungry, stuff like that, go to his mother. This is exactly a true mu'min, a true reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody else. Okay, and like I say, حسن الظن بالله, having a good opinion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that is vital. Surrendering to Allah's will and His divine and His universal plan. I do the best I can. I plan. I work as hard as I can. And at the end of the day, whatever the outcome, I am totally in accept. I have absolutely no problem with it. Now, when you want to do tawakkul, true tawakkul has two conditions. Before I do something, I rely totally on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am planning to do something, so I do my job, but I have total reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is one condition. Without the second condition, it's a false tawakkul. Whatever the outcome is going to happen afterwards, if I am not accepting that, or if I resent that, if I say, why Allah doing this to me? I am good, I am doing, okay? When I question the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so the tawakkul is fake. So two things for true tawakkul. So the first one is reliance before the act and acceptance after the act. When we have tawakkul, before we execute anything, and then accept the outcome. And this is the actual true ubudiyyah. This is the true enslavement, the servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want to give you an example. We always do what we call dua al-istikhara, isn't it? Dua al-istikhara. And the dua al-istikhara is simple. We say, oh Allah, I seek your counsel by your knowledge. Allahumma inna astakhiruka bi'ilmika and wa astaqdiruka biqudratik. And by your power, I seek your strength. Wa as'aluka min fadlika al-azim. And I ask you from your immense favor. For verily, you are able while I am not. فإنك تعلم ولا أعلم. And verily you know while I don't. وتقدر ولا أقدر. And you, the knower of the unseen. وأنت علام الغيوب. what do we say after that? This is the most important thing in tawakkul. وَقْدِرْ لِلْخَيْرَ حَيْثُمَا كَانَ ثُمَّ ارْضِنِي بِهِ. When you make the dua and then you say, this is the acceptance of the outcome. You say, decree, Ya Allah, decree what is good for me. And I want to understand, what is good for you does not mean what is you think is good for you. You understand? You can ask him to go to the west and he send you the east. But he can be rest assured that this is what is good for you. Not as what is good for you is what you want, okay? And decree what is good for me wherever it is. And this is the trick. Then make me pleased with it. Give me acceptance to what you have decreed for me, Ya Allah. This is tawakkul. Without this, we only verbally talk about tawakkul. There is a scholar by the name Bishr al-Hafi. He say, some people, like I say, they say tawakkaltu ala Allah and they lying. If he was truthful in his tawakkul, he would accept and be pleased with what Allah has decreed for him, what is the outcome is. There is two words in Arabic, and we talked about this before. There is tawakkul, which is trusting in Allah, which goes parallel to exerting all your effort. I exert all my effort. I do not leave a stone unturned. I do the best I can, and we talked about it. Physically, intellectually, I seek advices. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I make dua, everything. I plan. So parallel to trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I exert my effort. That is true tawakkul. But there is passive tawakkul. Passive dependency is called the tawakkul. Tawakkul is something that Allah hates, which means I'm not moving hand or leg and make dua. And that means there is absolutely nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never even look at you. Now, we do tawakkul for everything, but don't consume your time for tawakkul for something that you can achieve easily. You understand this? I have, of course you do tawakkul on everything. But if I have a slight headache, of course I have tawakkul. But if I get up and have a cup of tea and the 2 aspirins, the headache will go. Okay? Of course you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you. But don't spend all your day making dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala get rid of this. Raise your bar. Think about something that will help you, that will help your kids, will help your society, will help your ummah. Okay? There is something called himma. Himma means zeal, determination, eagerness, energy. I want to do tawakkul on things which is major things. I am doing da'wah, and I plead with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open people's heart to what I say. This is concentrate on things which really you can consume your time. Okay, you can just spend the time on it. There is nothing wrong with this. The Prophet ﷺ, the companions, they used to do tawakkul when they go spread the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, I do not be misunderstood. We do tawakkul for everything, minor things, but don't consume your time asking for the very little things. Okay? Raise the bar. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for things which will help you, your family, and everybody. If there is no reliance, there is no iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, Allah love, inna Allah yuhibbul mutawakkilin. Allah love people who rely on him. Allah love الشاكرين, the grateful people. Allah love al-muhsinin, people who are the elite doers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love as-sabirin, the people who exhibit patience. Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin. Allah love these people, but without tawakkul, you're not going to be among all these people. Okay? Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like I told you, hundreds of ayat, but I want to talk about one ayah. One ayah. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. This is very, very dangerous ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, you have to do tawakkul, you have to rely on me, really rely on me, if you claim that you are a mu'min. Which means, if you don't, you're not. And again, because of the time, there is absolutely no time to get on lots of things. Now, the subject is very, very big. But just I'm gonna stop here, because I also wanna talk about maybe 2-3 minutes about the yaqeen, al-qadr. Now, like I promised, I tried to make it brief, but I could not make it brief, and the subject is much bigger than this. Inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me life after we finish the seerah, every other week we're going to be talking about one subject. We're going to talk about sabr, we're going to talk about hilm, we're going to talk about care, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about how we elevate our soul, tazkiyah, all these things, which is things that we in dire need to understand. Okay? But again, this subject is far from completion. This is something quickly you understand? Okay, inshallah. When we talk about al-qadr, and also this is something that's going to take about 2 days to talk about it, but just quickly, because we have 15 minutes, and the brother Big is not going to even give me 15 minutes. One thing we need to understand in this deen, okay, and pay attention to this. Any concept, any understanding, any ayah, any hadith, anything about Islam that you read and you feel there is dhulm in it, this is injustice. How could it be? It does not sit right with you. You understand? So there is two possibilities, and there is no third possibility. That the hadith is wrong, or you totally misunderstand the meaning. Because dhulm is totally against the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is absolutely no dhulm in Islam. Any concept that you hear about Islam, I'm going to give you wallahi one example, and inshallah we're going to talk about this in details. Inheritance. If you talk to any Muslim, ignorant or have knowledge, you're like, Islam is not fair with women. Women take half of the man, which is totally wrong. Most of the cases, women take more than men.
But I think the society made it.
It's not the society, is ignorance. Is ignorance. I want to just give you an example. If the philosophy of inheritance in Islam, not a man take twice, a male take twice as a female. What you get, it depends on two things. How close you are to the deceased. That's one. The second one is, are you young that you have a long life in front, or you are like me, leaving soon? This is what Islam is talking about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say, if if somebody, if you have two daughters, they both of them take 2/3 of your inheritance. And if you have a father and a mother, you have a mother and a father, and you have two daughters. The two daughters take 2/3, and the mother take 1/3, and the father get some change. Just there is 35 cases. In fact, the only case that man takes more than a woman when I have sons and daughters, because the daughters, when she is young, she does not have to spend a penny. When she get married, she does not have to spend a penny. You understand? The man, so
technically she's getting more than men.
a lot more.
If
In fact, the man gonna lose all his money and she's gonna get everything. But here is the thing. When we talk about qadar, when we talk about this, don't you ever think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unjust. This is, and I want you to understand, there is two understanding of the word qadar, okay? And I want you to understand this. The word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala write, we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala write our destiny. There is two cases. If Allah wrote and decree for us what we going to do, He say, I want you to do this. That's one concept. And this concept totally negate the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot get me and tie my hand and tie my legs, throw me in the river and say swim. You cannot. That's injustice. If Allah wrote and the decree that I will do bad, astaghfirullah, He cannot hold me responsible for that. But the other concept is Allah, because of His infinite knowledge, wrote what we will do on our own free will. You understand this? Totally different concept. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His infinite knowledge, because tomorrow is not something that unseen for Him. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala write, and this is something that people get confused with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Inna Allah yahdi man yasha. Allah will guide whoever He wills, but His will is not haphazard. The will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on your effort. وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى. People who seek guidance, Allah will give them, lend them hand. But if I ignore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I ignore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I turn my back to Him, and I do not really care, and not only this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put on my way things to bring me back to Him, and I still ignore. Barakallahu feekum. Shukran sitti. Alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even when I turn my back to Him, Allah still give me chance after chance after chance. I want to give you an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His infinite knowledge, He knew that the Fir'aun would go to the hellfire. You know, when He sent Sayyidina Musa and Sayyidina Harun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them what? فَقُولَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرَ أَوْ يَخْشَى. When you go talk to Allah, knows that he's going to go to the hellfire. But Allah directed Musa and Harun, speak in a tender way to him. Speak good words to him. Maybe he will wake up. لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ. Remember, أَوْ يَخْشَى. You start fearing me. So nothing happened against Allah's will. I'm going to give you an example. You, my son, come and say, can I do this? I say, you have two choices. I'm gonna give you your choice. At the end, it's gonna be your choice. this is what I think you should do, and this is what I think you should not do. But I am gonna give you a free will. You can go whatever you think is right, you do it. And he picked the wrong choice. Did he really do anything against my will? Or I give him the free will to do what he wants? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he gave us free will, he knew that some of us will be submissive and some of us will be rebellious. He knows that. But he gave us the choice. Allah, when he said nothing happened in this dunya against his will, is true. Allah, by giving you the will, means that he willed that you have a will. But does he approve what you do or not? That's a different story. You understand this? I can give my son or whoever I take care of a choice, which means he's not going against my choice. I am giving him the choice. But if he chooses the wrong thing, I am not happy with his choice. But because I up front I told him that you have the choice, it's not against mine. Because if I do not want to give him that choice, I will say you have no choice. You will do what I tell you to do. You understand? And this is, but I want you to understand that in every portion of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always make everything dependent on his will. Even people in Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, they will be in Jannah ما دامت السماوات والأرض إلا ما شاء ربك. If this means that we're going to go to Jannah, but one day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to will and is going to take us out of Jannah? That's not it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to know that nothing in this dunya is out of his will. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not will anything bad. Huh? When you go to the hellfire, it's the same thing. خالدين فيها إلا ما شاء ربك. You understand this? So everything is based on that. Because of the time, I just want to give you wallahi one thing. This is something, it is unbelievable. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will for me to be sick. That is a qadar that I have no choice in it. I am a good guy. I eat well. I take care of my health. I am perfectly taking care of my health. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose to give me a disease. And that disease will stay with me for the rest of my life. This is the place where you have to have total confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of the time, I want to tell you one thing. This is something I found out recently. And wallahi, alhamdulillah, I wish to have a good health all the time. But wallahi, when I heard it, astaghfirullah, I envy the sick people. One of the ulama say, when you are sick, but you accept Allah's will, when you are suffering, when you say when we are sick, you say that there is something that comes out. You feel pain. He said the word it fall on the ears of the angels, Allah, not So when you say what would the angels write? Do you understand, guys? Barakallahu feekum, inshallah. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And I promised, inshallah, when we have time, we're going to go over this in little bit more details.